The advertising industry is a huge part of everyday life. Without it, how would you ever know about the latest fad or the best deal for you? There are endless ways of making advertising suit you and meet your target demographic in the most effective way. From radio to posters and even people handing out promotions as you're walking through town, advertising is everywhere. In the media, there's controversy in every corner. I have found that it's mainly centred around the representation of women and, in other cases, the representation of young people. The representation of young people is more apparent in the news, however. For example, the London riots of 2011. The representation of women is everywhere. It's in your spot cream adverts, to your shaving adverts, even in your Dormeo adverts. In regards to the spot cream and shaving adverts, their bodies are sexualised for the audience, who are also predominantly female. You'll see their shimmering legs propped up on the bathtub, and they always seem to stroke their legs afterwards as well. In regards to food adverts, for example Dormeo, the female in the advert always plays the household mother whose focus is to cook for everyone. You could say the same for cleaning adverts, for example Flash and Bang.
I'm sure there was lots of mud. I shook off so much mud. It was here, now it's gone. Every bit, every drop, every inch where I saw my mud go. Flash, it works miracles. Flash, cleans up the impossible.
Although I disagree with these representations, they are effective in advertising, as it is a stereotype that we all as an audience can understand. I think effective advertising entirely depends on what your advert is. If it's a film, you don't want to give the main story away in the trailer. If it's a product like cleaning equipment, then it's good to make up a story surrounding it. Advertising before the internet is sometimes referred to as the golden days of advertising. Between 1923 and 1930, 60% of American families acquired a radio set. This is when advertising took on a cultural status and really worked to reach a certain target demographic within an area. This would be done with the use of billboards, radio infomercials, and television ads. WEAF was the first radio station to have advertising.
WEAF, New York.
People viewed radio adverts as a way of serving the public. It also ensured financial stability within the broadcasting industry, as it meant that non-profit radio stations were finally making a profit. In 1926, jingles were introduced into radio advertising and pushed profit even further for products that weren't selling as well as companies had hoped. It got the public talking about the product and made them believe that if they were to be within the consumer market, then they would also profit from it. The Wheaties radio advertisement was the first to use a jingle, and it successfully helped them to sell more of the product than they were even imagining.
Wheaties, their whole week with all of the brands. Won't you try Wheaties? For wheat is the best food of man. They're crispy and crunchy the whole year through. The kiddies never tire of them, and neither will you. So just try Wheaties, the best breakfast food in the land.
The first television ad was aired in 1941 before a baseball game in America, showing a short advertisement for Bulvoca clocks and watches.
America runs on Bulova time.
This set the precedent for advertisements for the next 70 years. Advertisers then began to build characters around their products to attempt to create a connection between the consumers and brand. This greatly helped to develop the advertising industry, as there was a visual increase of people recognising the products because of the catchy ways in which they had been advertised to capture the audience.
Cocoa Pops, spinning tops, Cocoa Pops, pit stops, snow drops, chocolate flavor, Cocoa Pops, clippity clops, bunny hops, balloon pops, milk drops, Cocoa Pops. Jack in the Box, Mrs. Mops, Mr. Spots, Keystone Cops, but nothing tops Kellogg's Cocoa Pops. Kellogg's Cocoa Pops.
Famous faces were brought in as a way to capture the right demographic. Back in the 1950s, when cigarette smoking was considered more acceptable, the Marlboro Man was introduced to change their brand from the mild-at-May women's cigarettes that they once were to a product with a larger consumer market that they could cater for, with the use of cowboys and a train of stale-faced men. The Marlboro Man became a recognisable face within society between the 1960s and the 1990s. This shows how advertising adapts based on society, and then society adapts to advertising. The development of technology has had a tremendous effect on advertising throughout the years. From the invention of the radio to television and the internet, the advertising industry has continuously grown and developed in the ways that it reaches out to its audience. Radio advertising was the initial kick-start for introducing advertising into people's homes and making it so that they're always relevant to the types of people that may be listening to a certain station. Even today, internet advertisements are constantly finding new ways to get publicity from the target demographic. From YouTube adverts to adverts at the side of internet pages, they are made to always be visible to the public and relevant to the medium that they are on. How could we not be influenced when advertising is everywhere?